Hello guys, this is Great Game Guardian here, and today we go back to top 10 lists and we take a look at my top 10 favorite Zelda characters. This list will not include Zelda, Link, or Ganondorf. I will stick to regular characters that I feel made an impact to the story or important side quests. And yeah, so those are the two main reasons the two main ways to get on this list. And once again, these are my opinions. Don't go hating on my opinions, alright? So let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have From the Adventure of Link, Mr. Error. Now, the first time that Link talks to Error, he just says his name. He just says, "I am Error." But later in the game, if you find a man in the harbor town of Mido, he will tell you to talk to Error about how to get into the palace. And Error will tell you how to get there. The sprite of Error appears often in the game, but Error will always be a fond memory in my mind. And in the Nintendo UK site, when the 404 page appears, you see Error, which I think is awesome. So, coming in at number 10, one of my more favorite characters on this list, but even though he really doesn't do anything, I had to include him somewhere. So, Mr. Error, you have the grace of getting the number 10 spot. The number 9 goes to the Sakon from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Now, I would have put this guy higher, a lot higher, if he had a bigger role in Ocarina of Time. Mostly in Ocarina of Time, all he does is race you when you're an adult, and you can sell him the bunny hood in the Happy Mask Salesman quest. That's about it. In Majora's Mask, he plays a huge part. He allows you to get the bomb mask, because you catch him after he steals from the bomb lady. And he also plays a major role in the Anju and Cafe side quest by stealing Cafe's mask that he was going to give to Anju. So, I believe that Sakon is a very important character in the Zelda universe, although many people will agree with me that if he had a bigger role in Ocarina of Time, that this guy would be a lot more recognized and a lot more available to put on higher on lists. So, number 9 goes to Sakon the Thief. For the number 8 spot, I'm going back to the first Zelda game, the NES, and it is the Old Man. Now, none of these games would be possible without the Old Man's help. You get your first item in that cave with the Old Man, and he keeps giving you items throughout the game, but without the sword, you can't really do much, can you? So, there's not very much to say about the Old Man, but, he's a very interesting character, and the entire Legend of Zelda series would not be possible without the Old Man. So, not much to say, really. Number 8 goes to the Old Man. At number 7, I have Groose from Skyward Sword. Now, Groose is how should I say this? A very pugnacious character. He's always looking to fight Link during Skyward Sword because he's jealous that he thinks that Zelda has a crush on him, and he wants the girl, and he'll do whatever it takes to have Zelda. But, as you progress further into the game, after you defeat the Temple of Time, Groose is revealed to be an important character in the game, and is revealed to have sort of a soft side for the old woman and when she disappears, Groose is very upset. And this, I thought, was a great way to reveal Groose's personality. And that's pretty much all to say. Groose is a great character, and I hope that in the next Zelda game that they will create more characters like Groose. So number 7 goes to Groose from Skyward Sword. Coming in at number 6, we have a tie, which is a appropriate tie between Grandma and Aryll from Wind Waker. Now, Grandma is one of the best characters ever because she gives you one of the best power-ups ever. The only time you can do this in Zelda history, you can use a fairy on someone else, in this case being Grandma, and if you do that, you will get the elixir soup, which is amazing. It fills all your hearts, it fills all your magic, and you do double damage, so that's amazing. Aryll, I think, is also an important character, because instead of saving a princess at the beginning of the game, you know that you're saving a princess, you're trying to save your sister from the bird. But as you save your sister in this case, you realize that there's more behind it than just your sister. So this character implement was great, and it shows that Link actually has people who care about him, because in other games Link has never had a family before, and this is the first game where any Link has any type of actual family. So number 6 goes to Grandma and Aryll. At number 5 we have Fi from Skyward Sword. Now Fi is the soul of the Master Sword, okay? You spend the game building up your sword to slay Demise and Girahim, and Fi is just an amazing character. She's kind of like Navi and Tattle and all those characters that guide you through the game, but she is a lot different. She is not annoying, and when she wants to get your attention, she like hooks me. Whenever she talks, I feel like I'm about to hear a giant story, and I feel like I should really listen to what Fi has to say. So, Fi is just a great guide and a great friend to Link, and when they depart from each other at the end of Skyward Sword, it was a very heart-filled part of Skyward Sword in that regard. But I guess any ending of a game is. But Fi just makes it that much better, because she's like a robot technically, because she has all those percentages and stuff. But yeah, the guide can never be better than Fi, and you don't see Navi and Tattle on this list. So number 5 goes to Fi from Skyward Sword. At number 4 we have my favorite character from the handheld games, Marin from Link's Awakening. Now, Marin is the reason why Link's Awakening is so pretty much depressing. When you leave the island of Koholint, you forget the one person that you truly knew as a friend there, and that was Marin. Marin reminded you of Zelda, and she was a guide, and she taught you the Ballad of the Windfish, and she's just a great character, and Link's Awakening would never happen without Marin, and the depressing ending would not happen without Marin either, as you can see because of the final shot. I won't tell you guys because of spoilers and stuff, but pick up Link's Awakening and you will definitely see why my number 4 spot goes to Link's Awakening's Marin. Number 3 on my list is, of course, Saria from Ocarina of Time. Now, I don't know if you guys are surprised that she's not 1 or 2, or I don't know, but there are two spots that I think deserve their way, but let's stick to Saria. Saria is Link's really only friend at the beginning of Ocarina of Time. She gives him his first ocarina, and she teaches him the her own song, Saria's song, which also plays in the Lost Woods, which is a very catchy song, and all Zelda fans know it. And Saria is just a very important character, I believe, and being a sage of the Forest Temple really helps out my case. So number 3 goes to Saria, the amazing forest sage from Ocarina of Time. My number 2 goes to Twilight Princess's Midna. Now, if anyone has ever completed Twilight Princess, you know why the game is called Twilight Princess, just because of Midna. Midna is a boss, okay? She has a giant hand that pops out of her head, she rides Wolf Link like a boss, and there is no one who is more badass and more awesome looking than Midna is. Okay, that was like a really powerful rant right there, so I'm just gonna leave it as that. Bottom line, Midna is a great character, and without her, Twilight Princess would never be able to happen. Never, ever. So that's why my number 2 spot goes to Midna from Twilight Princess. Before we move on to number 1, let's look at the rest of the list. 10, Error. 9, Sakan. 8, Old Man. 7, Roos. 6, Grandma and Aril. 5, Fi. 4, Marin. 3, Saria. And 2, Midna. But before we go on to number 1, I want to mention an honorable mention. Kippur Gebora, the Owl, who has appeared in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Four Swords Adventures. And Kippur Gebora is kind of is Rauru, the sage of the Light Temple. And he's a pretty interesting character. I put him out because a lot of people do not like Kippur Gebora, mainly because he talks too much and he just gets in the way and he's kind of annoying. And, well, even though I will mention that he's a very good character, and he plays very important roles in all 3 games that he's in. So, my honorable mention, kind of my 11th spot, goes to, Mr. Kippur Gebora, otherwise known as Rauru. I don't know if people saw this coming, but for me, it was very obvious who was number 1. Number 1 is Shared by Cafe and Anju. Cafe and Anju is my favorite side quest in any Zelda game ever. It is beautiful, the ending is fantastic, and both of these characters are beautifully developed. Now, let's go into depth into each one. Anju works at the inn with her mother, and is going to get married to her boyfriend at the time, who is named Cafe, but he got turned into a child because of the Skull Kid. So, Link has to go through very specifically timed events to get these 2 lovebirds together to exchange their vows and exchange their masks to get one of the best masks in the game, which is completely useless, the couple's mask. But in order to complete the game, this is a must-see. Everyone who plays Majora's Mask must see this scene because it is beautiful and there is nothing that can beat it in any other video game. Yeah, so that's my number 1, Cafe and Anju. For me, it was kind of obvious who was gonna win. But, that's it. That's my top 10 favorite Zelda characters, or pairs. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. And this is me, Great Game Guardian, signing off. See you guys next time.